Thanks for being here. I know it's been a while, but boy, do I have a story to tell you. Get comfy, 'cause here goes. Ready? Standing in silent awe beside the hollyhocks that proudly waved in the breeze at the entrance to Green Gables, I couldn't believe I was finally here. My long-held imaginations had come true. It's delightful when your imaginations come true, isn't it? These words, spoken by Anne Shirley in Anne of Green Gables, were the imaginings of author Lucy Maud Montgomery, and have stirred my imagination ever since I read them as a girl. I've long dreamed of visiting Green Gables, and here I was, delighting in the trueness of those imaginings. I could barely believe it. My heart beat loudly as I stood still, as if telling me, yes, it is real. You're not imagining it anymore. Look at Green Gables. My gosh, is that Anne's bedroom window from which she watched the Snow Queen's petals fall in winter? Oh my goodness, there's Marilla's chair. And the table where Anne and Diana drank too much currant wine thinking it was raspberry cordial. And there's Matthew's hat, I exclaimed loudly. Just as I excitedly blurted out, "Look at Anne's puff sleeve dress," a voice behind me whispered, "You know they weren't real, right?" "I know," I said indignantly to the man I call the governor of practicality. "I'm just imagining," as Lucy Maud Montgomery did. This house, now the Green Gables Heritage Centre, was where Montgomery's cousins lived, where she spent a lot of her time, and where the birth of her most famous character, Anne of Green Gables, took place. Here we were in Cavendish, Prince Edward Island, a place that Ellen Montgomery said inspired her many books on Anne Shirley, and a place I have dreamed and dreamed about visiting for years and years. Come with me now through the haunted woods that Anne and Ellen Montgomery talked about, and I'll tell you about a most incredible experience I had just beyond it near the old homestead. Lucy Maud Montgomery walked these very trails between her grandparents' house with whom she lived and her cousin's house where she visited regularly. And here I was walking the same red paths in her footsteps. This beautiful wooded 1-kilometer trail opens onto the very same fields and pastures that Ellen Montgomery would have looked out over through her bedroom window, as she wrote her first 4 books here, beginning with Anne of Green Gables in 1905. Her personal journals reveal a life that was far from easy. Yet, she found joy in the beauty of nature here, and like her character, Anne Shirley, often looked at life through a positive, joyful lens. I deeply identify with both Anne of Green Gables and her author. We are, in fact, kindred spirits. And if you are one, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. By the time we arrived at the homestead area where Ellen Montgomery lived and wrote, my governor of practicality had had enough and opted to wait for me on a bench. Also because a young couple who passed us earlier in the woods said, "It's just a hole in the ground, you're not missing much." I knew they were wrong, and if I had listened to them, I would have missed a most incredible and indelible experience of my life. I took the opportunity wholeheartedly to enjoy the journey alone while Mr. Practical relaxed in the warm afternoon sunshine. And as I entered the bookstore house to purchase my ticket, I met Lucy Maud Montgomery's distant cousin, John Ross Macneill. These were her mother's people, who have created a beautiful self-guided tour through to the original homestead area. John Ross gave an informative and passionate talk on this portion of LMM's history.
Famous influencer.
No.
I'll have 1 million views before the end of the day.
No.
I did not put on my best shirt. Yeah, so Lucy Maud would have had a very unique upbringing here. No father, no mother. It would have been tough, but she did have many aunts and uncles. Her grandparents would always be keeping an eye on her. There'd always be somebody coming through the homestead for the mail, bringing gossip with them. And also the church and the schoolhouse were also on the property. So there was a 10-second walk to school for Maud and the same for church. So.
And I was off to follow the trail to the homestead site with excitement and joy. I couldn't believe this place, the kitchen post office, was where LMM mailed her writings and manuscripts for publication, the only portion of the original house that was preserved. And this foundation is where the original house stood, where she cared for her widowed grandmother, and where she looked out over the pasture, imagining Anne of Green Gables and bringing those imaginations to life. I stood still for a moment, feeling the peace and energy of this hallowed ground. And as I passed slowly under the old apple tree, the wind stopped. It grew absolutely still and silent. I was completely alone, but I felt a presence. It felt like someone was right beside me. I felt the brush of something against my hand. I stopped, my heart thumping. I breathed in deeply and tears filled my eyes. Was this her? Was I walking in her footsteps or right beside her? Or was I imagining all this? Was my imagination full and wild like Anne Shirley's? Or had my imaginations delightfully come true? By the time I exited the path past Maud's beautiful garden to say goodbye to young Mr. Macneill, my emotions were so close to the surface I could barely speak. Only a true Lucy Maud Montgomery fan, a kindred spirit, could possibly understand. Whatever it was, the breeze blew a little differently for me that day, imprinting its memory on me, as sweet as the imprinted memory of the first day I read Anne of Green Gables, one summer afternoon when I was 12. I shall never forget that blissful afternoon, or this. If you enjoyed this story, please give my video a like. In my next video, I'll share with you Lucy Maud Montgomery's glimpse of beauty and what she called the flash. Not sure if you believe in it. That's another incredible story for next time. Thanks so much for being here to the very end. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are, and keep imagining.